This is the new MG4 XPower, and it could well be the best value performance car in the world. And in this video, I'll tell you why. I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching Carwow. Buy, sell, Carwow. The first thing you need to know about the MG4 XPower is that it has two electric motors, one on each axle, whereas a standard car is rear-wheel drive only. Also, the motor at the rear is slightly more powerful than in the standard car. Here in the XPower, it puts out 231 horsepower. The motor at the front puts out 204 horsepower, which means combined, this car has 435 horsepower, which is more horsepower than an Audi RS3 and a Mercedes-AMG A45S. MG says this car will do 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, but can I get a better time? Got a launch control, so I press the accelerator while pressing the brake. It does that thing, gives me that power there, and let's go. Oh, it's bang on the money. 3.77 seconds. I'll accept that. It's a blooming good time. For this XPower version, MG has also made some changes to the car's chassis. So they've retuned the suspension, so it's now 25% stiffer. There's beefier anti-roll bars at the front and the back. They've also recalibrated the steering to make it more responsive. They've fitted some rated brakes for improved stopping power. They've also given the car torque vectoring by braking, so it'll brake an inside wheel to get the car rotating into a bend. And they've even fitted an electronically controlled limited slip differential to the rear axle. It's madness. Anyway, let's see what those changes have done to how this car drives on a twisty road. Okay, let's see what this crazy MG is like. 30 miles an hour, florid. Frickin' hell. For like real world speeds, this thing just picks up like nothing else. Well, nothing at this price point coming out of a corner. Whoa! What a nutcase! It's absolute chaos. Oh my God! You don't have to rev it out like many performance cars, you know, hot hatches. You just plant your foot and it just goes. That is the beauty of electric power. So the amount of traction and thrust you get out of a corner is just unreal. Here we go. Whoa! Crazy, crazy car. For this money, the performance is just absolutely unbelievable. Going around a corner, nothing anywhere near this price point can do that. Nothing. It's nuts. But is it fun? Well, do you know what? That kind of instant acceleration can never get boring. In the past, people have paid big money for performance internal combustion engine cars just for that thrill of put your foot down and it scrambles your mind. And here we are getting it for just average hatchback money. In terms of the actual chassis dynamics and like having fun on a twisty road, I'm going to compare it to something like a Hyundai i30N. It doesn't quite go around the corners as well. It doesn't feel as well balanced. It doesn't have that awesome soundtrack that you get from the Hyundai. The Hyundai is actually slower, I think, but there's just something about it that you work more with the car and it's more three-dimensional. This is sort of a one-trick pony. The chassis, it's fine, you know, grips and goes round, but you don't get a sense that you can play with it. And if there is one big drawback that you don't have with most, let's say, hot hatches with an internal combustion engine, it's the brakes. So I've got the setting of the regeneration in minimal, so it feels a bit like an internal combustion engine car when you lift off. There's no sudden like regen braking slowing you down, upsetting the balance of the car. But when you do press the brakes, they just don't feel as pure as a normal standard braking system on an internal combustion engine car. And I think that if you're like a hardcore driving enthusiast, probably better off buying something like a used BMW M2 Competition for similar money than getting one of these. And if you want to buy a used BMW M2 Competition, you can buy used cars through Carwow. To go there now, click on the pop-out banner up there, follow the link in the description below. However, if you're a more normal person who mainly gets their thrills from being able to suddenly just go warp speed and then be able to back off before they're breaking the speed limit and just get thrills from going like that, you can't beat this. And if you're buying it as a company car, it's super cheap as well because the benefit in car tax is low because it's an electric vehicle. It's nuts. The design upgrades on the XPower version of the MG4 aren't really that substantial over the previous range-topping trophy model. So all you really get is some silvery grey highlights here, which I'm not really that much of a fan of, to tell you the truth. Some unique 18-inch alloy wheels, and you get Bridgestone Turanza sportier tyres. There's also like the grey accents here down the side. Once again, don't really like that much. At the back, no changes apart from, once again, the grey accents. Oh, there is one unique colour for this car. It's a green, not this blue. Not a fan of this blue, to tell you the truth, either. Do you know what? Hot hatches usually look better than the cars on which they're based, but I don't think that's so obvious with this MG4 XPower. Just like with the exterior, MG haven't really been asked to hot hatch the interior of the XPower. So you get the same seats as in the normal car, which really aren't quite body hugging enough for a hot hatch. All they've done is given them some Alcantara trim here, which is a bit more grippy, and some red stitching. And those are the only changes. What they could have done is relocated this dead ahead marker, which is actually on the bottom of the steering wheel, to where it should be on the top. In the back, you also get the Alcantara bits on the seats and the red stitching. But once again, that's it, that's your lot. Just like a normal MG4 really, so all right, knee room and headroom. Seeing as MG haven't really made many changes to the XPower's exterior, nor its interior, you won't be surprised to find out that they've done absolutely nothing to the boot. It's the same 363 litres as a standard car. But why would they change it, I guess? That's a bit pointless, isn't it? Anyway, that brings on to 5 annoying things about the MG4 XPower. First of all, these brake calipers are a horrendous orange colour. But this isn't actually the caliper. This is just a cover. That's doubly Where is the stability control off button? Can't find one anywhere about the cabin. Maybe it's in the menu. Car, look through here. No, there doesn't appear to be one. A hot hatch which doesn't let you alter the stability control. That's not right. The XPower has the same 62 kilowatt hour battery pack as the normal MG4 long range. Now in that car, it gives a range of 281 miles. In this XPower though, because you've got more performance, you get less range, 239 miles. The mobile phone charging pad well isn't quite deep enough to cope with the car's ferocious acceleration. I hope I didn't just crack my screen. I don't know about hot hatch. This car's more of a hot dog hatch because it's rather heavy. It weighs in at 1,800 kilograms. By comparison, an Audi RS3 weighs 1,570 kilos. However, it's not all bad. Here's 5 good things about this car. You see, that Audi has 400 horsepower and costs £50,000. This has more horsepower, 435, and it costs £36,000. The normal MG4 doesn't have one pedal drive, so when you lift off the accelerator, the car won't come to a complete stop. However, they have introduced it for the XPower. Look, it says one pedal drive mode. Let's turn it on. Yeah. MG has given the XPower a special track mode. So if I press this, I can access it. And you can time yourself around a circular route, which I imagine is a racing circuit. But you can also do something called street roaming. It's applied to regular roads. You do get a little bit of driving advice. For safety reasons, it is not recommended to turn on the music entertainment function under this function. If it is on a professional track, it is recommended to switch to sport mode to improve the lap performance via OBS. And then safety disclaimer. That's a disclaimer, it's just saying safety disclaimer. The XPower comes with a 7-year warranty. I can't think of any other hot hatch that has a 7-year warranty. If you can think of one, let me know in the comments. I'll wait. Actually, I won't. Let's move on. You get adaptive cruise control with lane keeping assist as standard on this car. You don't get that as standard on a Mercedes A45S, a BMW M2, nor an Audi RS3. So how is this high-performance MG for daily driving? It's very, very similar to the standard car. So you've got an amazing turning circle, so it's manoeuvrable in town. The suspension is a little bit firmer, so it's just a bit more unsettled, but I'll happily forgo that for the fact that if you are joining a motorway, going from 40, you want to get up to 70, it takes this long. All is forgiven. I'm also going to forgive the fact that I think these sportier tyres make a little bit more noise, but that's still not the overwhelming noise that you notice. It's more the wind noise, which isn't terrible. Compared to many hot hatches or performance models, this is really not much different to live with every day to the standard car. So then, what's my final verdict on the MG4 XPower? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, if like me, you've read a copy of Evo magazine at some point in your life, you should probably avoid this kind of car because ultimately there are many other hot hatches that are more fun to drive on a twisty road. However, for the majority of people who buy hot hatches just for their straight line performance, of which probably most people really do, this is a no-brainer. I mean, the performance out of this car for the money is insane. £36,000 for 435 horsepower is incredible. So if you want the most performance for your money, you should go right ahead and buy the MG4 XPower. Anyway, I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you did, give it a like. Let me know if you agree with my verdict in the comments below. Click on those windows there for some more videos, and on that box there to go to CarWow to sell your car the easy way. All you have to do is upload some photos, give a brief description, then dealers all across the country will bid on your car. It's easy and completely free.